Karen's HOA goons tried to arrest my cousin for jogging. Turns out they picked a fight with an off-duty international agent who doesn't miss. The day my cousin Diego landed in town, the air felt a little warmer. Maybe it was the desert sun, or maybe it was Diego's electric energy spilling all over my squeaky clean cookie-cutter neighborhood. We live in a tightly wound HOA community. Rows of identical beige homes, perfect lawns trimmed to regulation height, mailboxes in soldier straight formation, and the ever-present sound of sprinklers hissing like snakes on a schedule. The kind of place where smiling feels mandatory, but judgment lurks behind every curtain. Our HOA isn't run by regular folks either. They've basically created their own wannabe police force. Yep, HOA cops in golf carts with badges they printed online, walkie-talkies clutched like they're guarding the Pentagon, and clipboards that carry more power than common sense. Welcome to Prodigy Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama. Diego rolled into all this straight from Mexico City, where chaos and color blend into art and people live loud and proud. I warned him that things were different here, but he just grinned, said he was on vacation, and started jogging every morning around the block like it was no big deal. My guy had a slick fade, mirrored aviators, muscles like rebar bait, and this cool calmness that made him look like he walked out of an action movie. We spent the first few days relaxing. I showed him around town, grilled steaks, introduced him to a few of my chill neighbors who didn't bow to Karen the HOA queen pin, and laughed over tacos and backyard beers. Diego loved the piece, said it was a nice change from work. What work, you ask? He said security, that's all. I didn't press because Diego's eyes said the rest. Dude's got a story behind that smile, but I figured let him breathe, he's here to chill. But in this neighborhood, chilling too hard gets you labeled suspicious. And Karen, she never misses a chance to weaponize suspicion, like it's a hobby. Especially if you're tan, confident, and don't come wrapped in HOA pre-approval packaging. At first, I thought Diego's visit would be smooth, just family time. But in this HOA, even peace is treated like a threat. It was around 6:30 in the morning, skies barely blushing with sunlight, when Diego laced up and went out for his usual run. His playlist thumped through his wireless earbuds, and he jogged down Oak Ridge Lane like he owned it. Same route, same rhythm, same confident stride. What he didn't expect this time was to be tailed by the HOA's glorified mall cops. Two middle-aged wannabe tough guys in matching windbreakers, cargo shorts, and mirrored knockoff shades. They rolled up behind him in one of their oversized golf carts, tires screeching like it was a Fast and Furious audition. "Hey you, stop right there," one of them barked, jumping out like he was mid-SWAT operation. Diego slowed, confused, pulling his earbuds out. "Sorry, what's the problem?" The shorter one waved a clipboard like it was a warrant. "We don't recognize you, and you're not wearing any identification. Residents are supposed to have guest passes. Do you live here?" Diego blinked. "I'm staying with my cousin. He lives on Hillcrest Drive." The taller guy stepped in, crossing his arms. "What's his name?" "Mark." "And what's his house number?" Diego paused. "I'm not sure. I can walk you there, if you want." That's when things started going left. The short one pulled out plastic zip ties like he was auditioning for Reno 911. "I don't think so. You're not complying, and you can't confirm your location. Hands behind your back." Diego raised his eyebrows, more confused than scared. "Wait, what?" The taller one moved in. "Don't make this harder than it needs to be." At this point, Diego realized these weren't just bored dads on a power trip. They were about to get physical. He raised his hands, trying to keep it cool. "Look, I'm not resisting. I told you I'm staying with my cousin. Just follow me to his place." But they weren't listening. The shorter one lunged forward with zip ties, grabbing Diego's wrist. That's when instinct kicked in. Diego twisted his arm out of reach and stepped back, calm but alert. He was still trying to keep it civil, but the HOA cops had no idea they were poking a sleeping lion. The second that wannabe enforcer tried to clamp Diego's wrist with zip ties, the air changed. Diego's jaw tightened just a bit, but his body stayed relaxed, almost too relaxed. That's the thing with professionals. They don't bark, they strike. Before the shorter guy could blink, Diego twisted his arm sideways and grabbed the dude by the collar, pivoted his foot, and swept him flat on his back with a controlled thud. The clipboard clattered to the pavement. The taller cop gasped and lunged forward like he was rushing the quarterback at a high school football game. But Diego sidestepped, ducked low, and delivered a clean elbow to the man's ribs, just enough to knock the wind out of him, without sending him to the ER. "You guys really should have just walked with me," Diego muttered, standing between both groaning HOA enforcers. They rolled on the pavement like beached whales groaning about assault, while Diego stood there, hands on his hips, shaking his head. A couple of dog-walking neighbors paused across the street, jaws dropped, one of them slowly pulling out their phone to film what looked like an episode of HOA Smackdown. "What just happened?" one lady whispered. "Karen's boys messed with the wrong guy," her husband replied, trying not to laugh. Diego looked over, smiled politely, and then crouched down to the shorter man. "Now, if you'd like, I can still take you to my cousin's house, or you can explain to your boss how you assaulted a visitor with zero cause." The shorter man's face turned beet red. "We were just doing our job." "You mean profiling people who don't look like you?" "You got it," Diego said coolly. He dusted himself off and casually jogged back the way he came, leaving both of them moaning on the pavement. The phone lady across the street was already uploading the video to the neighborhood app, titled HOA Security Get Schooled. By the time Diego walked through my front door, he was barely winded. "You get your run in?" I asked, sipping coffee. He shrugged, more like a warm-up. My phone buzzed seconds later. Neighborhood alert. Video. Chaos. The caption, HOA security down. Karen exploded like a shaken soda. The second the video hit the HOA app, her group chat, HOA Angels of Order, was already on fire. And by the time she screeched up to the neighborhood park in her pearl white Prius, both of her precious patrol puppets were ice and bruises and pretending they were utterly humiliated in broad daylight. "What do you mean you let some foreigner put you on the ground?" she screamed, pointing fingers like a malfunctioning traffic light. "You're supposed to be HOA enforcers." "Karen, we thought he was suspicious. He didn't have ID." Karen didn't care. She was pacing like a lunatic, hair frizzing from sheer rage. "You assaulted a guest on camera, and now everyone's laughing at us. HOA security is a joke now because of you two morons." The shorter guy tried to stand but winced. He said he was staying with his cousin. Karen stopped dead in her tracks. "What cousin? Whose cousin? Where's his paperwork? I want addresses. I want copies of the lease. I want birth certificates." Meanwhile, back in my place, I was on the porch with Diego watching the neighborhood react like someone had dropped a match in a gasoline pool. Phones were out. Rumors were spreading like wildfire, and the HOA's power tower was starting to wobble. But Karen wasn't done. Oh no, she whipped out her HOA burner phone, the one she uses to call in real enforcement when she wants to flex, and demanded a police response, claiming a violent immigrant assaulted her officers and posed a community threat. Within minutes, a squad car rolled into the cul-de-sac. Sirens off, lights off, just casual. Two real cops stepped out, calm and curious. Karen, in full meltdown mode, ran over and started unloading her version of events. "He's undocumented. He assaulted officers. He has no ID. He's aggressive. Arrest him." The officers blinked slowly, exchanged glances, then one of them asked, "Ma'am, do you have any proof of what you're saying?" "Well, he doesn't have ID, and look what he did to my guys." The officers turned to Diego, who stood up, calm and cool as ever. He flashed a badge from under his shirt. "I'm with international law enforcement. I was off duty. They attacked me first." The two real cocks paused and burst out laughing. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think Karen got what she deserved? Comment below. What would you do if fake HOA cops jump your family? Tell us below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more HOA justice served hot.